Hi, Haley. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Let me do a quick introduction of Ardley, and then the floor will be yours. Ardley's actionable data intelligent platform enables lenders and servicers to better serve their borrowers by providing analytics and hyper-personalized offers. By leveraging Ardley's Navigator capabilities, lenders can provide a more transparent solution by offering borrowers upfront opportunity for all loan offers for which they are eligible. For lenders, they receive real deal opportunities that a borrower is already educated on what deals they have available, making a superior borrow experience. This is really important, Haley. Tell us more.
Yes, I love to. So we created Ardley Navigator and Autopilot in response to what we were hearing from a lot of lenders and servicers that we work with, that they wanted to create or give qualified leads to their loan officers at scale, that they wanted a way to put all offers in front of their borrowers with real-time accurate pricing. And that they had heard from their borrowers that they were tired of starting from scratch anytime they wanted to do a loan with their current servicer or lender. So we created Navigator and Autopilot. I'm going to start a little bit upstream and show you a couple additional features that Ardley has because that'll provide some helpful context for how Navigator and Autopilot really play in this space. So I'm sharing my screen, I hope. And you should see here a sample of the portfolio review that we offer our customers. So what we're doing is we're ingesting servicing data or lender data, and we are able to tell these lenders, these servicers, the opportunity in their portfolio using their pricing, their fees, eligibility, and resale guidelines. So what you're seeing here is summary data of a portfolio. But behind each of these numbers is a pre-structured loan with all of the loan summary data needed to quickly close the loan on the loan officer's side, but also communicate the advantages and details of this loan to borrowers. So you can see for this particular sample, we're evaluating cash out refinance opportunities, home equity loan opportunities, and rate and term refinance, as well as MLS listings. So this is the information that really powers the second feature I want to highlight, which is our intelligent marketing. What you're seeing here is an example of the outbound emails that we offer. Ardley is a 100% white labeled solution. So if we do our job, your borrowers never know who Ardley is. As part of the onboarding process and ongoing customer success, we make sure that all outreach is in line with your branding and brand voice compliance legal guidelines. So we see about a 70 to 80% click rate across all of our customers. A big reason is we only email borrowers that qualify for these specific loans. And even better, on average, our customers have a 6% open rate on these emails. We largely attribute that to putting forward a lot of the information that is usually hidden from borrowers. We're upfront and transparent since we pre-structure all of these loans. And our highest performer actually has a 12% click rate, which we think is pretty awesome. So if a borrower is interested in this, they can click on to this and they can see Navigator. So that's what you're seeing right here. So I'm showing you two different views. I'm showing you the desktop view here and then the mobile view over here. On the Ardley platform, we saw that about 70% of borrowers were accessing us via mobile. So for Navigator, we really took a mobile forward design, really made it very sleek and simple for a borrower to be able to view all of their loan opportunities. A couple of cool features I want to point out on Navigator. A borrower is able to really filter these options on what is interesting to them. So if they want to focus on cash out options, they can click that and they're going to see the ways for them to tap their equity highlighted. If they're interested in ways to save, they can click here and see that they have a VA option and a rate and term option. And I'll show you what that looks like on mobile too. Again, we're adding that filter so they can really focus in on that, or we can go back to all offers and we're able to see this. So like I said, we use all of our customers' unique pricing, fees, and eligibility rules. And those are updated every time a borrower accesses this. So say they click on the email 5, 10, 15 days after it's been sent. When this page loads, it's using the most recent pricing that we have. And pricing is updated from our receiving it within 2 minutes on Navigator, which is pretty cool. All of the branding, theming, and copy on here is completely customizable. Again, your borrowers will never know Ardley. This will be branded to you with your colors and any language that you want, again, to match compliance and branding for your company. If they click in to see details, a borrower is really able to understand what that loan means to them. So they're seeing more details about the transaction, and they're also able to read information about this loan and how it might be different from the other options. So that was a VA refinance. Let's click into a cash out loan and see what it looks like. Because cash out's a little bit more complex in terms of the LLPAs, a borrower would be able to select their credit score, and actually it's going to go hit that LTV and FICO grid and apply any pricing adjustments to these loan details. You can see those numbers change. I can also take out more equity if I choose, or maybe I want to do less equity and see how those numbers change. So let's go back. I'm actually interested in my home equity loan. So I'm going to see details. I see that the information carried over from when I was playing with the cash outs, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. So because we are working with borrowers that are already familiar with your brand, already likely have an account, we're not asking them to create another one. Rather, we're using a one-time passcode and then asking them to validate their information. Awesome. All right, so it's going to go check, make sure that matches, and then it's going to take me into my pre-filled application. So one of the things, again, that we heard from borrowers is, hey, this is my servicer, they should have this information. So we make that really easy for them by pre-populating as much of this application as we can. A couple cool things I want to point out about our application form. We have help tips throughout the application. We worked with borrowers and loan officers to understand where borrowers were falling out of the application so that we can really keep them moving, keep them going. The other thing that we do is we keep the loan details visible for the borrower throughout the application. Transparency is something that we have found to really be important to borrowers. We see about a 75% completion rate and largely attribute that to the fact that we're upfront about what the borrower is applying for. Again, some pretty cool things is we are able to do as short of an application as you'd like or as long. We have some customers that use us for lead generation, all the way to some customers that have us run a conditional approval for them. And conditional approval is where autopilot comes into play. So autopilot is a feature of ours that runs in the background that is basically evaluating every answer that the borrower provides and is saying, does this make them eligible for the loan or does it make them ineligible for the loan? So I'm going to show you an example of that. So for this home equity loan, one of the business rules is that it has to be the borrower's primary residence. So I'm going to say that it's not my primary residence. And it's going to go hit the business rules. And it's going to say, does this borrower still qualify? The answer is going to be no. And instead of blocking the borrower out or submitting a loan that the borrower no longer qualifies for, it's actually going to give the borrower a couple other options. It's going to say you still have a rate and term refinance or you have a cash out refinance loan. Well, I'm still interested in my equity, so I'm going to go ahead and see details. It's like a little mini version of the Navigator. And then that's interesting to me. So I'm going to start my refinance. And then a couple cool things. We saw the sections change. So we can have a different application flow for every loan type that's on Navigator. And then it doesn't ask the borrower to start back over. It just is going to dump them right into the application where they left off. So very quick here. We do have the option to default these. Again, can be something that can be discussed as part of onboarding. We have our full HMDA section with the option to prefer not to say. And then we'll get to the last section of this flow, which is employment. Again, we have some customers that prefer not to trigger TRID, so we leave this section out. All of this can be customizable. Same is true with the questions. If you want a custom question, we have some customers that want to ask the borrower if they will use their checking account to receive a payment discount. Those are all things that we can add in here as well and plug Autopilot into. One thing I didn't get a chance to show with Autopilot that is pretty cool is it also will work with any loan level pricing adjustments throughout the application. So one that we see that is pretty common is, a condo or a multifamily pricing adjustment that will actually show the borrower if they select that option. They'll show them how that affects their loan. And then here's a cool little reminder that, most lenders prefer 2 years. If they don't have it, of course, though, we can allow them to continue. So that was the last section of this application. It's going to ask me to submit my inquiry. I'll call this out as just a cool example of some of the customization that we can do. And we have some customers that use the word application, some that prefer the word inquiry. Again, all copy that you see here and branding is 100% customizable. And then I'm going to go ahead and submit. And what this is doing is it's submitting into your CRM or LOS, wherever a loan officer is used to picking up those leads to process the loan application. And on the borrower's end, they are seeing their loan application details written out. And then they will receive a confirmation email as well. One thing I did forget to mention, that's just a cool stat with Navigator. So we're seeing it over here. We're seeing really great engagement with borrowers. We've seen on average about 13 minutes per borrower in the Navigator evaluating different loan options. And we even saw one person spend 19 minutes. And, people, about 25% of borrowers are coming back more than once. To really evaluate their loan options. So it's a great tool to boost that engagement as well as bring that transparency to the borrowers. And that's all I've got for you.
That's all.
Thank
you. Thank you so much, Haley, for taking us through Navigator. So the first question I have is, how will this tool help servicers and lenders recapture borrowers as rates fall?
Yes. So something that we're working on with a current customer is the ability to show multiple different rate and term options to borrowers so they can compare them side by side. So they could see what it looks like if they want to bring more cash to the table, what they would save on their monthly payments versus maybe what it looks like to bring less. So really empowering the borrower to make those decisions. We also have a new feature we'll be launching that allows goal setting. So a borrower would be able to record how much they want to save per month so that that can be communicated to the lender so they can be the first to let the borrower know that they qualify.
And what happens when borrowers do not complete an application?
Yeah, so we have a couple different options for that. A lot of our customers have nurture journeys programmed in. So those are akin to the item left in cart emails that let borrowers know, hey, you've started this application. Maybe this is how your offers changed since you last dropped. Let's get you back in. And then we also have an application in beta right now that syncs with this. It's a loan officer view that basically has real-time updates on where the borrower has left off so that they can call the borrower and say, hey, I see that you made it all the way through the demographic section. Let's talk through this loan and get it submitted.
And are there other ways of accessing Navigator besides email?
Sure are. So we have an API that can be used inside of a payment portal or borrower portal. And then we also have different authentication methods. So what you saw was kind of the email route, but we also have a generic URL that allows borrower match so that a borrower can access from just a URL on the bank or servicer or lender's website.
Well, Haley, thank you so much for taking us through Ardley's Navigator application. Really interesting platform. And with that, I'm going to pass things back to Jennifer.
Thank you.